In the vast, untamed wilderness of northern Tanzania, there exists a tribe that remains largely untouched by the modern world. The Hadzabe Tribe, one of the last true hunter-gatherer groups on Earth, has lived in the harsh yet beautiful region surrounding Lake Eyasi for thousands of years. Here, survival depends on the skills and knowledge passed down through generations. These skills allow them to thrive in a landscape with few changes. The Hadzabe people are believed to be one of the oldest human societies, dating back over 50,000 years. They are indigenous to the Lake Eyasi region in northern Tanzania, near the Serengeti and Ngorongoro crater. This community of roughly 1,300 people has lived off the land for centuries, relying on hunting and gathering as their primary means of survival. To fully understand the Hadzabe way of life, one must first immerse oneself in the essence of one's existence: hunting. Unlike most communities that have embraced agriculture or industrialization, the Hadzabe remain staunchly connected to their ancestral ways. The hunt is not merely a means of survival for them, it is an intricate part of their identity, shaping their culture, social structures, and connection to the land. Each day presents a new challenge and opportunity to tap into their ancient knowledge and skills passed down for thousands of years. The day begins at the crack of dawn. As the sun rises over the horizon, casting its golden light on the African savanna, the Hadzabe prepare for the hunt. The air is still cool, the birds begin to stir, and the sound of footsteps on the dry earth signals the start of another adventure. In the early hours, the men gather, their bows and arrows slung over their shoulders, their faces set in quiet concentration. These survival tools are handcrafted and fine-tuned to perfection through years of trial and error. The tribe's weapon of choice is the bow and arrow. Unlike the mass-produced weapons in modern societies, each bow is made from wood, often sourced from the surrounding forest. The strings are crafted from plant fibers, and the arrows are tipped with poison from the seeds of the adenium plant. This poison, a potent neurotoxin, ensures that even a grazing shot can bring down a large animal quickly. Each bow and arrow set is uniquely fashioned for the hunt, whether for a small bird, a swift antelope, or a more formidable opponent like the baboon. While the tools are important, the Hadzabe's knowledge of the land makes them effective hunters. The men have an unparalleled understanding of the terrain. They know where animals tend to graze, which waterholes they frequent, and where certain species like to take cover. Hunting isn't just about the chase. It's about understanding the ecosystem, the rhythms of the land, and the subtle signs that others might miss. The hunters often come together in a circle before setting out, preparing mentally for what lies ahead. They don't speak much. There's no need for words when everyone is so attuned to the task. The air is thick with anticipation as each man prepares to enter the unknown, guided only by their instincts and elders' teachings. With a final glance toward the sky, the hunters set off, moving like shadows through the brush. The men rarely speak during the hunt. Instead, they communicate through hand gestures, the occasional low whistle, and the unspoken understanding from years of experience. Silence is their ally. Every sound they make, every movement they make, could alert their prey. It's a delicate balance between patience and action, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Tracking is an art form for the Hadzabe. They follow fresh animal tracks, looking for the subtle signs of movement, disturbed soil, a broken branch, and the faintest trail left behind by a grazing animal. It's a skill honed over centuries, passed down from father to son. The hunters also have an uncanny ability to predict animal behavior. They know that the baboon will be watching for predators from the treetops, and that the antelope prefers to graze in the early morning before the sun becomes too hot. As they trek deeper into the bush, the hunters remain focused. They understand that patience is as important as speed, An animal's senses are heightened, and a single misstep could ruin the entire hunt. When a group of hunters successfully locate their prey, they don't rush in immediately. They wait, sometimes for hours, as the animal moves in and out of sight. The moment of truth comes when they silently and quickly close the gap between themselves and the target. Baboons, in particular, are a prized catch. These intelligent creatures, known for their ability to evade hunters, present a significant challenge. The Hadzabe often hunt baboons in groups, using a combination of stealth and diversion tactics. A lone baboon is usually much harder to approach, as it remains alert to its surroundings, scanning for any danger. But when the hunters move in as a team, carefully coordinated, they can surround and corner their prey. The baboon's agility and speed make it a difficult target, but the Hadzabe are determined and skilled. Once an arrow is loosed, it's often the poison that ensures the animal's swift demise. Among the many animals that the Hadzabe hunt, monkeys are perhaps the most fascinating and, at times, controversial addition to their diet. For many modern people, hunting monkeys may seem strange, even unsettling, but for the Hadzabe, monkeys represent a valuable source of protein, vital for survival in an environment where other food sources can be scarce. Monkeys are only sometimes easy to catch, but the Hadzabe have developed techniques that make them highly efficient. They are skilled at tracking monkeys through the dense forests and savannas, using their keen senses to detect the presence of these elusive animals. Monkeys, especially baboons, are intelligent and quick, making them a formidable challenge. However, through patience and tactical hunting, the Hadzabe can corner them and bring them down with poison-tipped arrows. Once a monkey is caught, it is immediately prepared for cooking. In the Hadzabe tradition, there is no waste. The meat is roasted over an open fire, and every part of the animal is used. This includes the internal organs, prized for their nutrients, and the bones, which can be used to create tools. There is no sense of wastefulness in the Hadzabe culture. Everything is valued, and nothing is discarded. This method of hunting and consumption ties back to a broader way of life that places a deep emphasis on sustainability and respect for nature. The Hadzabe do not overhunt or take more than they need. Their understanding of the environment and maintaining balance is key to their survival. When they hunt monkeys or any other animal, it is always done with respect for the natural world. In this way, the Hadzabe represents a form of human existence that connects directly to the earth. Their lives starkly contrast with the modern, industrialized world, but they remind us of the roots from which all human life once sprang. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors hunted in much the same way, using primitive tools, tracking animals, and living in harmony with the land. The Hadzabe preserve this ancient way of life, offering a glimpse into what life was like for our forefathers. The tools used by the Hadzabe are a testament to their ingenuity and resourcefulness. While many people in the modern world rely on advanced technology and machinery, the Hadzabe make do with what they can find in the wild. Their weapons, such as bows and arrows, are carefully crafted from local materials, ensuring that every item is functional and sustainable. The bow is made from sturdy wood, often from trees like grevia or acacia, which are common in the region. The string is fashioned from plant fibers, and the arrows are fitted with sharp stone tips or poison-tipped barbs. These weapons are effective, efficient, and perfectly suited to the needs of the hunters. They allow the Hadzabe to take down prey ranging from small birds to larger mammals like antelope and baboons. The Hadzabe also created tools for everyday tasks, from digging for roots to scraping hides. Everything is made with purpose, and each item is a product of their knowledge of the environment. Their skill in crafting these tools is passed down through generations, with younger tribe members learning from their elders. The tools are not just functional, they also carry cultural significance. The Hadzabe are connected to their history and heritage by creating and using these tools. As the day progresses, the Hadzabe begin to wrap up their hunt. After successfully capturing prey, the next step is essential: sharing the spoils. The Hadzabe have a unique and deeply ingrained system of food distribution. Unlike many cultures that emphasize individual ownership, the Hadzabe live by the principle of shared resources. If one hunter brings down an animal, the entire community benefits. The meat is often divided into portions, with each person receiving an equal share, regardless of their role in the hunt. This sense of equality helps to foster strong bonds among tribe members, and it's an essential part of their social structure. The gathering becomes celebratory after the meat has been cooked over an open fire. The community sits around the fire, eating together, telling stories, and reflecting on the hunt. The Hadzabe see food not only as sustenance, but as a symbol of their connection to the land and each other. Every successful hunt reaffirms their identity as one of the world's last hunter-gatherer societies. Their lifestyle is rooted in a deep respect for the environment, reflected in their sustainable hunting practices. The Hadzabe take only what they need. They do not overhunt and rotate their hunting grounds to prevent depleting local wildlife populations. Unlike commercial hunters or large-scale agricultural operations that exploit natural resources for profit, the Hadzabe maintain a delicate balance with the land. Their survival depends on maintaining this balance, allowing them to live in harmony with their environment for thousands of years. This balance, however, is increasingly under threat. As the world changes, the Hadzabe face challenges they have never encountered. The encroachment of agriculture and the expansion of tourism have started to threaten their land and way of life. For generations, the Hadzabe have hunted in the same areas. Still, farming communities are taking over these lands. Forests are being cleared for crops, and access to vital water sources is restricted. The Tanzanian government and various organizations have recognized the importance of preserving the Hadzabe's way of life and the natural environment that sustains them. Some conservation efforts have been made to protect the Hadzabe's hunting grounds, ensuring they have access to the resources they need to continue their traditional practices. However, this is a delicate issue as modernity continues pushing against the Hadzabe traditions. The tribe's relationship with outsiders is often one of caution, as their customs and ways of life are misunderstood or dismissed by those who do not understand their significance. While the men are the primary hunters, the role of women and children in Hadzabe society cannot be underestimated. Women in the tribe typically focus on gathering, an activity just as vital to the tribe's survival as hunting. They collect fruits, honey, roots, and tubers, complementing the animal protein the men bring back. These gathered foods are essential in providing the necessary nutrients to the tribe, especially when hunting proves difficult or unsuccessful. In addition to gathering food, the women also help in other areas of daily life, such as caring for children, building shelter, and assisting in food preparation. The entire community relies on each other in a way that ensures everyone contributes to the overall survival of the tribe. The division of labor is fluid, and everyone is integral to the tribe's way of life. Children, too, are an important part of this cycle. From a very young age, they learn from their elders. The boys are taught how to become hunters, craft weapons, track animals, and the land's secrets. The girls learn to gather, care for the younger members of the tribe, and perform the tasks that maintain the daily rhythms of their society. No formal schooling exists, but the tribe's knowledge is passed down through oral traditions, stories, and direct mentorship. One of the most striking things about Hadzabe society is the strong connection between the elders and the younger members. Elders are revered for their wisdom, and the younger generations are taught to respect the experiences and knowledge of those who came before them. The tribal structure is not hierarchical in the way that many Western societies are. Still, it does place great value on the guidance of the elders. They are the keepers of tradition, and with their input, the Hadzabe would retain much of what makes their way of life so unique. Hunting with the Hadzabe takes work. The African savanna is a harsh and unforgiving landscape, and survival depends on the ability to adapt to various challenges. One day, a hunt might go smoothly, with the hunters successfully tracking down a large antelope or a group of baboons. The next day, they may encounter frustration as prey becomes scarce or more elusive. The Hadzabe have learned to endure the challenges of the land through sheer persistence. They are patient, often spending hours, sometimes even an entire day, tracking a single animal. They rely on their acute senses, constantly alert to the smallest changes in their surroundings. Even the slightest disturbance, such as a bird's call or a rustling leaf, could signal the presence of prey. But despite their expertise, hunting is never guaranteed. They might return empty-handed on any given day, but that is simply part of the life cycle they have come to understand. This constant pursuit of food is not just a physical challenge, but also a mental one. The Hadzabe are always thinking, always planning, always anticipating. There are no luxuries, no comforts. The simplicity of their lives means that each day is dedicated to survival, the gathering of food, and the upkeep of the tribe. Yet this simplicity is not without its rewards. To the Hadzabe, the hunt is not just about food. It's about proving their strength, skills, and connection to the land. There is great pride in hunting and knowing one can live off the land without external resources. This self-sufficiency is at the heart of Hadzabe's identity. Despite the difficulty, the hunt provides a sense of satisfaction. The rhythm of life for the Hadzabe is simple but profound. As the sun sets on another day in the bush, the tribe gathers around the fire, sharing stories, roasting meat, and strengthening the bonds that hold their society together. The Hadzabe do not need the trappings of modern civilization. They have everything they need in the wild, hunt, and community. The Hadzabe are a living connection to a distant past, when humans lived in closer harmony with nature, depending entirely on their environment for survival. As such, they are a cultural treasure, offering insights into how our ancestors once lived. But this way of life is now at risk. As land is encroached upon by agriculture and development, the Hadzabe face the prospect of losing their traditional lands and the practices that have defined their culture for millennia. Their continued survival depends on balancing modernity and tradition, preserving their way of life, and adapting to the changing world. Whether through sustainable tourism or conservation efforts, the world must recognize the value of the Hadzabe and their way of life, ensuring that they are given the space to live as they have for generations. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you in our next video.